Hello crafters, this is Julia from Just One More Card, and today I want to show you how you can add amazing details to your Copic coloring with colored pencils. I am going to be using a stamp set from Altnew. I think this is a beautiful day, and I know that most of you probably look at those big flowers, but I want to make those little stamps shine today. I really want them to make the stars of the show. And I think those like tinier stems oftentimes get overlooked, and we can do really amazing things with those stamps. So I'm going to be using 2 of these stamps. Actually, no, I think I'm going to be using 3, and I'm using my Misty to stamp them because I'm stamping on linen cardstock, so I wasn't entirely sure if it would, if I would get a good impression. I'm using a mask here to mask off my first stamped image, and you're using masks to create the illusion that you're putting images behind another image, which isn't possible otherwise, without overlapping the images. So I'm just stamping several of the smaller images from the Beautiful Day set. And then after I peeled off my mask, you can see here that the first image is in front and all the others are behind. Now I'm doing some really simple coloring with my Copic markers here. I'm using 3 green tones, or 2, I don't know, check the video description, I will have all the colors listed as always. And I'm just adding a tiny bit of shading. As you can see, there is not a lot going on there, and I'm keeping it extremely light. The twigs, I'm actually just doing 1 color, and on the berries, I'm only going to be doing 2 colors. And the reason I'm keeping it super light is that I will be adding details with my pencils. I just want to get a base color down, so it will be easier for me to blend out with the pencils. And now I'm coming in here with my pencils, and you can see that I'm using the artist drawn lines to create folds in this leaf, or I don't know, like indentations where the light would not reach, so you have shadows. And you can see that with my pencils here I can add an amazing amount of detail. And because I have already laid down some color with my Copics, I don't have to worry too much about blending everything out perfectly, because I have a base color that I can just work with. I'm using actually a yellow here to blend into that green Copic color, and then it's a lot faster than if you would just do this with colored pencils, sorry. So, and I'm going to progress here and do the same thing on all the leaves, the very same process everywhere. And this is because I have more control with colored pencils than I have with Copics. So I prefer to add details with those pencils instead of the Copics. And you should always do Copics first and then pencils, because you don't want the pigment from the pencils to clog up your Copic nib. So I did all the leaves here. You can see the amazing amount of detail I could get. And now I'm doing the berries. And I'm using 3 shades of purple here. And I put down the darkest where obviously the shadow would be. And then I'm just blending towards a lighter pink color. And also what I'm doing is when I work with the very lightest color, I ease up on the pressure, and that way you can also get a nice blend towards the Copic color. And to me, it's still amazing to see that, I have this relatively flat image, but thanks to my pencils and just a few tiny strokes here and there, I can create depth and dimension and make these images really pop. I'm not worried about the structure of the linen paper shining through, because that is actually something that I find extremely pretty. This is not special linen paper, this is just some, actually cheap stuff that I got of a German eBay seller. So if you find something in your craft store or somewhere online, just give it a try. This is very thin paper though, so it doesn't hold up as cardstock. So I'm usually adhering it to a piece of cardstock, so it is more stable. And here for the petals of the flowers, I'm doing the exact same thing, coming in with a darker color and then blending towards the light with my pencils to create dimension and shadows and just make the image much more lively. Of course, this does take a little bit more time than if you would, just lay down like the first layer with the Copics. But I like doing this. To me, adding that dimension and that shading is just something that I enjoy very much. Lastly, I am very carefully adding some very light blue color with my, I think it's probably a B00 or 000. And then I'm coming in with my colorless blender over the edge to smooth that out even more. Then I want to stamp my sentiment, and I want to use the Cali letters from Mama Elephant, which are individual letters that you can use to form a word. And so I'm drawing a line with my pencil here is to make sure I'm going to line it up straight, because, I'm not good at doing straight things. But it worked out nicely. You can see the stamps at the very top left of the screen. Those are the individual stamps. And it's just very beautiful how you can form these words. Now for my, putting it together for a card, I have a strip of pattern paper. This is from My Favorite Things Proper Pinstripes. And I'm adding it to the side of my card base because I actually like the panels that I cut. They were too small, I didn't notice. So now I somehow have to make those panels work. So I'm just putting pattern paper on the side of all of my cards I'm doing right now. No reason to throw perfectly good paper out, right? You can always make it work. So I'm adhering the panel, and you have the pattern paper peeking out from the side, and I'm also adhering a strip of cardstock that I have covered with glitter on one side, and that will just, I don't know, I just like this tiny, tiny, tiny strip because it gives a beautiful accent to the card, like something that you might not expect. I'm using liquid pearls in the color Pearl. All the products are listed in the video description below to add a few details here and there. It will dry, not completely flat, but it will just give this beautiful shine, very subtle shine to the card, but it's still flat, not completely, but flat. And you can put it through the mail without any trouble. And here's a close-up of the Copic and pencil coloring, including the liquid pearl dots that I've added. Even they pick up the linen texture, which I think is just so beautiful. I love this texture. Here is a close-up of the sentiment that I stamped. And off to the side, you can see the pattern paper and the strip of glitter paper that I added. And last but not least, here is the entire card. I've had so much fun creating this, and I was very pleased that I could use, not the star stamps from the Beautiful Day stamp set, but the smaller stamps. I really like that. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please leave me a thumbs up, a comment, or subscribe to my channel. Catch you again soon.